Weekly vlog number 36. There's not a whole lot to happen this week, though Fallout 4 did release, so I'll be mentioning that at the end of the video, as well as some of the stuff I actually saw on it, and I mostly want to mention graphics, because there's still a lot of people saying, oh, the game looks like crap, and there's also this other group of people saying the game looks good. So I want to actually give my opinion on what I've seen so far. Even though I haven't played it, I watched a lot of footage of it, just a lot of footage of it, and I think I can actually give a pretty good opinion about its graphics, because, yeah, analyzing stuff, staring at it, and stuff. So anyways, first thing that happened, actually, it was kind of extended over the entire night, so I wanted to make some food. And it sounds really weird that I'm saying that now because just the way I said it, basically. But I'm trying to think about what I wanted to make. And all I know is I wanted some sort of food that was different because, I don't know, I needed beef. I've been craving beef lately. And I'm not craving it anymore because we finally got burgers and we had meatloaf. Then we had burgers again. So no more beef craving. We had so much cheesy stuff lately and a lot of chicken lately. So I needed something different. And I didn't want noodles really. I needed beef. But the closest thing we had to beef that I could actually eat was some Swedish meatballs that were frozen in the freezer. So I got those out and I was going to heat them up for some noodles, though I first was going to decide to put in rice. It's like, yeah, rice is a pain in the ass to make because I don't know why I can never get it to actually absorb the water properly, even when I use the right amount of fucking water, because it's just instant rice. So I decided to just make noodles, strain the water out of that, and I added some mushroom soup. Because you gotta have some sort of mushroom soup for the Swedish meatballs. And if you use the right mushroom soup, which is just the Campbell's canned cream mushroom soup, and those Swedish meatballs, you mix them together, you just heat them up in the microwave or throw it on the stove and heat it up. You can also add milk too if you want to thin out the sauce a little bit. And I think that's usually done, but I didn't do that or anything. So instead, because we didn't have any cans of Campbell's cream and mushroom soup, so what I did is I used some little box thing. It's kind of like a milk jug type of box of mushroom soup that we had in the house, and it was not Campbell's, it was some other brand. But I was like, you know what, mushroom soup is mushroom soup, probably gonna taste fine, probably gonna be better or the same, I don't know. But I poured it out and was like, okay, well, first thing, that's a little weird. It's not really globbed together like the cans of mushroom soup are. Those kind of sometimes even hold the shape of the can a little bit until you heat it up, then it kind of gets a little liquidy, but it was already liquid. So I was like, what the fuck's going on here? It doesn't really seem right, but whatever. It'll probably taste fine. It smells fine. It'll probably be fine. So I heated it up. I cooked the noodles. I mixed it in with the meatballs and everything. I ate one of the meatballs. Like, meatball. The some reason it tastes a little mushy. So that's weird. So I guess the type of mushroom soup I used was just absorbed into the meatball and just made it a little more mushy than it usually is supposed to be. So I was like, okay, whatever. No big deal. It'll still taste like a meatball. It's still beef. I'll still eat it. Then I tried taking a bite of the noodles, and I actually had some of the mushroom soup with the noodle, and I tasted it. I was like, what the fuck? I thought this was supposed to be mushroom soup. It does not taste like mushroom soup. That is not mushroom soup. It smells like somehow they managed to liquefy mushrooms, and that's not mushroom soup. Mushrooms taste good and everything, but you don't want mushroom soup to taste like melted mushrooms. Or it's like they took raw mushrooms, threw them in a damn blender, and blended it up so fine that it was just liquid somehow. Or, I don't know, it literally tasted like liquid mushroom and a very, very strong amount of liquid mushroom. So it wasn't even just like eating a regular mushroom. It was like eating a regular mushroom with the flavor of 10 mushrooms combined down to one, and it was liquid. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, that sounds awesome, I want some of that shit. It was not awesome. It tasted horrible because the amount of flavor in a single mushroom is already pretty damn massive. If you make it right, of course, you can easily remove the good flavor from a mushroom, but if you actually make the mushroom good, like you saute it or do something with it, then you can actually have a ton of flavor in one little mushroom. But it was bad mushroom soup, and so I was just like sitting there, son of a bitch, I just wasted all these noodles. I can't even eat them. So I ended up picking through all the noodles and everything and just finding all the meatballs, pulling them out, eating the meatballs, and then I just, this thing of noodles sitting in front of me, and I couldn't eat it. So I ended up giving it to my dog, and I didn't think he was gonna eat as much as he did. I thought, he might eat half of it or something, then he'll get full and he'll be done, and I'll just have to be kind of wasteful and throw it out or something. I give stuff to my dog all the time though, so it's not really a big deal for him. I give him chicken bones. Yeah, I know people say, shouldn't give a dog chicken bones, but he has had chicken bones literally since maybe about 6 months after I got him as a puppy or something, probably even before then. And whenever I give him chicken bones and everything, he's trained so he knows to be comfortable with eating the chicken bones and to not freak out and everything. So he is trained to eat them and everything without getting splinters and choke on it or having problems with the chicken bones. So that's not a real big deal. He's never had a problem with the chicken bone. So he had this thing of noodles sitting in front of him and he ate it. He's a dog, he'll eat it. What I didn't expect was that he was going to act as if he had to actually fight for it and actually eat as much as he could so he would actually get to eat it. Because he does that with other dogs being around. Sometimes if you give them food, they'll compete and they'll just stuff themselves so full that their chest will actually expand a bit because their stomach is at the bottom lower areas of their ribs and everything. So their chest will actually expand a bit when they're way too full. And he did that to such a point where he literally couldn't fit anything else down his stomach and he was crying. He was just standing there whining at me. I was like, oh, you son of a bitch. So I let him out. And he came back in, whined a bit more. I let him back out, and apparently he threw up out there, but I also let him back in one more time, and he threw up a little spot on my bed, so that kind of sucked, and I had to get my blanket washed, but I flicked the noodle out into the yard, because flicking noodles out into the yard isn't really going to hurt anything, and it was just a tiny little pile anyways. It'll just soak into the dirt and grass and everything and return to nature, so it's not really a big deal, and he threw up out there anyways, so it's not like it's really hurting anything else. Anyways, yeah, so I had to get that blanket washed, and after he threw up on my bed, I was like, okay, you know what, you can just stay out for an hour or two. Just let him stay out there. He didn't even scratch on the door. He was just like, yeah, fuck this, I'm staying outside. So he stayed outside. He didn't want in or anything. I just let him stay out there for a couple hours, even though it was dark out. I don't even know what time it was. It was probably 2 in the morning, maybe 3 in the morning, probably closer to 4 by the time I let him in because I was awake during the night. Like I am now, actually. My sleep's been weird. So it's weekends. My sleep tends to shift over instead of during the weekdays, but whatever. Anyways, so I finally let him back in eventually, and apparently my dad's dog went out there and ate some of the thrown up noodles, and their dog, my mom and dad's dog, is kind of allergic to a lot of shit. Kind of a really flawed dog, actually. And those noodles actually made him throw up. So he threw up in the house. And there's some noodles in the little barf pile in the house. Not a whole lot, though, but there was just enough. And of course, then the other day, obviously this part isn't actually related to him eating noodles, but that same dog ended up the other day. Oh my God. He woke me up a little bit, just barely. I kept yelling at him because he was whining, but I was still half asleep because if you wake me up within the first 5 hours of the point where I actually go to sleep, then I'm not completely coherent, basically. And it's kind of like dream and reality kind of merge. So it's sort of like I'm living a dream in reality. And it's a little weird. And it's not like I see the stuff from the dream in reality. I still have that imagining and going through my brain and everything if I happen to be dreaming at the time. And I also process the stuff of reality. So I see everything in reality, but I'm also processing the crap in my dream and simultaneously yet separate, but they kind of have this merging point where I think everything in reality is part of the dream, and it's kind of impossible for me to separate them. So I kind of also knew he was whining and I was annoying me, so I was yelling at him, but while I was yelling at him to shut up, I kept expecting something to happen because I was thinking, hey, it's a dream. Something's gonna happen if I keep telling him to shut the fuck up and stop trying to wake me up. Then he came back in my room and he stopped whining. I was like, wait, shit, this isn't a dream. I woke up. I actually completely woke up. I was like, what the fuck did you just do? Why did you stop whining? Then all of a sudden I started smelling something. It's like, oh, son of a bitch, what's that smell? I knew what it was. I was hoping I was wrong. I was hoping one of the dogs just farted or something. I went in the other room. I was like, God damn it. Now I can't be out here. So I looked at this pile of liquid on the carpet. Yeah, it was that bad. It was like take a can of chili, throw it in a blender, add chocolate ice cream, blend it up until it's melted and liquid, and you pour it on the carpet. That's what it was like. Oh my God. I had no way of cleaning it up, so I sent a text to my mom telling her I have no way of cleaning it up. I didn't know what the hell to do. She was at work at the time. I was asleep during the day at that point, so I think it was actually around noon. And after that, I was like, okay, I can't stay out there. So I went in the house and I tried to sleep on the couch. Then after I couldn't sleep on the couch, I tried sleeping on a chair. Couldn't get to sleep on the damn chair. Then my dad eventually got home when I was trying to sleep on the damn chair. The couch sucks. That couch just sucks. I couldn't sleep on. I don't know why. And the chair was annoying because it can tilt back, but you have to actually really hold it in place to stay tilted back where it's laying down. So if I moved even a little bit, it would fucking go right back up. Piece of shit. So anyways, so my dad got home. He looked at it. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. He freaked out. Then he got his shop vac and Febreze, and the fucking apartment still smells like Febreze because he sprayed so goddamn much of it. But he sprayed Febreze everywhere, and he got a shop vac because he said it's a wet dry vac. He cleaned out the filter and everything when I was trying to sleep in the house after I showed him where it was and everything, and he sucked it all up basically, and holy crap, that sucked. So then my mom got home, and I was still awake. I hadn't been able to get to sleep after I woke up that time, so I was running on 3 hours of sleep, and this led over to yesterday, actually, I think. So basically it started for me 2 days ago and it led over to yesterday at some point. I don't remember when. Yeah, I think it was sometime yesterday night. I don't even remember. It's so fucked up. So mom got home and I asked her where the carpet cleaner was and asked her how to use it and everything. So she told... I gotta stop doing that. Every time I say something, I keep adding and everything, and I keep... Some fucking annoying things pissing me the fuck off, and I tried to cut that out the last time I did a video, but I can't cut all of it out all the goddamn time. It's just I gotta try and whatever. So anyways, I asked her where it is, and she told me I got it, and she was all, yeah, you gotta use this stuff here, use that stuff there, and oh, it's already got some liquid, so go ahead and use it. You could wait until Friday or Saturday, and I'll clean it up myself. I was like, no, I'll do it now, because it's not really something you should leave until Saturday or whatever. So even though the shop vac pretty much cleaned the carpet itself, but there's like one little speck that was missed, and I wanted to make absolutely sure the damn carpet was cleaned. So I brought not the shop vac. I brought the carpet cleaner out and I used that. First time ever using it. It kind of worked actually. So now the carpet is cleaned up, no trace of it left. And when I was done with the shop, goddamn, I keep saying shop vac. When I was done with the carpet cleaner, I just brought it back in the house, and after emptying out its water thingy and rinsing it out again and emptying it again, then I just brought it back in the house and it was just fine. So yeah, this is going to be a long video. Holy shit. It's going to suck to edit. God damn it. His videos take a long time to edit because I cut out a lot of the pauses I have in my talking. So, you know. Anyways, the last thing was Fallout 3. I didn't actually expect the mushroom explanation thing to be that long, but yeah, so actually the end of the mushroom thing, after that day, I ended up just finally getting sleep. I slept for 13 hours, which is only an hour over what my sleep normally is, because I usually sleep for about 12 hours, and I could have slept for 15 hours. I know I could have slept for 15 hours. I felt myself be tired. I'm still a little tired, and I know I could have slept for 2 more hours, which means instead of 13 it would have been 15, because 13 plus 2 is 15. Yay! Math is so hard. And the reason I got up is because I actually felt myself starting to get a little disoriented from sleeping for so long, and that can actually happen if you sleep for a certain amount of time. So I decided, you know what, I don't want to be all disoriented all day, got stuff to do, so I'm just gonna get up now, even though I could sleep for another couple hours or something, be less tired, but I'll still then end up actually being more tired. So it's perfect time to get up, so I just got up. And anyways, yeah, kind of sucked, really. I've never given my dog food that he can eat that much of and thinking he'll stop before he gets too full ever again. So I gotta make sure he doesn't do that. I don't have to regulate his dog food or anything. I just throw down a big ass fucking bucket in the other room and goes in, eats whenever he wants. He only eats 2 or 3 times a day anyways, and he gets a drink every once in a while. But whenever it's people food, I guess he just gets all crazy and excited for it. So anyways, finally on to Fallout 4 stuff. So Fallout 4's graphics, they're both good and they're bad. And I say that because it's the same thing as Portal 2. A lot of people were saying the graphics of Portal 2 sucked, and of course I'm judging computer version of the games here. A lot of people are saying the Portal 2 graphics sucked. I said the Portal 2 graphics were great, and I say that here with Fallout 3 as well. Not Fallout 3, sorry. I say that here with Fallout 4 as well, and the reason for that is because of the lighting. The lighting can make something that's normally fake look real. It's all about the fucking lighting. I will explain that, yes, there are areas in the game where the graphics do suck, and I'll also explain potential reasoning why some of the graphics in that areas do suck as well, but the lighting makes it look amazing. And I can't wait to actually fucking play that game, but it's gonna be a good year or something, because I gotta get the CPU for my computer, then I gotta get, what the fuck was it? Oh, a Wii U, I gotta get a new chair. Yes, I gotta replace this fucking thing. I've had this for 4 or 5 years now, and it has been repaired twice, and the way it was repaired was welding something on it that is continuously breaking. So anyways, then I gotta also get a trike, so whatever. So as for the areas of the graphics of Fallout 4 that actually look crap, it is the low poly count. And this one, I can kind of understand why there's a low poly count. It doesn't really look all that much greater of a poly count than Fallout 3, although they should have added tessellation with a severity, so round stuff actually looks round instead of looking like it's still got these points on it a little bit. And the poly count is kind of annoying, but when you actually look around, you see how much more detail there is. There's not these big piles, mesh covered things with bricks and everything. There's not these areas that are just small and undetailed. The world, as far as I've seen in all the footage, the world in Fallout 4 is actually really detailed, and there's a lot of stuff being processed on there. So the amount of polygons on screen is probably just as high as if you reduced how much detail there was to that world and increased the poly count so there was round stuff instead of having these little points and everything. And that's actually an acceptable trade-off. The only thing that I don't like here is that the actual textures, though of course there's also the bonus to what I'm going to explain here in a sec of the textures. The thing I don't like is the textures. It seems like I don't really see any pixelation. It could just be because I'm looking at the videos and everything, but it could just be that these textures being used are high res, and they do seem like they are high res. I don't see any pixelation. I don't see any little jagged from the aliasing, and I do think that the problem Bethesda has with the textures is that they're compressed too much, or they just need to be improved a bit so they're not as blurry, because it seems like they're smudged textures, basically. It's that they're high res, but they're smudged, if that makes any sense. Now, the thing that makes this actually look good in some areas, I don't know if it would actually work as well with the lighting the game has, because it's not like a super crazy realistic. It's kind of a type of lighting, it's got a certain effect where it kind of pulls you in. It kind of makes it like a fantasy world almost, but it is possible that more detailed textures instead of the smudged look would actually work better or about the same. I'm not completely sure. Different lighting has different effects on different textures, and the way the textures are in the game with the lighting in combination, it actually makes some areas look really, really good and really smooth and natural. And actually that's the same sort of effect that Portal 2 has, which is why I brought Portal 2 up. Portal 2 has a certain type of smoothness on their textures, and it makes the lighting work perfectly with it because it makes it kind of look real in some areas. You get this consistent sort of effect in a lot of areas where there's just some nice, realistic visuals from the textures and the lighting just working perfectly and balanced together. And that is one good thing that they did awesome, because I can accept the low poly count because of all the detail. That is a trade-off. Yes, you can't really give people an option to have a higher poly count in-game without changing stuff up a lot. Although they could have actually given some tessellation options, and that would have actually evened it out, probably pissed people off a little less. And the textures, they could have improved at least the models of NPCs, the computer players and the player himself or herself, the player themselves, their models, their textures. I mean, they could have actually increased the detail on the textures like clothes and everything, so straps don't look like all little blurry or smudged or something. They could have improved that and left the textures of the actual world kind of how they are, I guess. You wouldn't be able to improve the people textures, clothes textures, and everything too much, otherwise it would look unbalanced with the rest of the world. So I see they're trying to have this balance maintained in the game, but they could have still shifted it a little bit, and they could have actually added a second set of textures, though I guess it's possible that they'll also do what they did with Skyrim later, piss me off and release more textures as DLC and say, it couldn't fit on the disc. But I don't know, I guess overall the experience that I've seen on the game, just looking at it, just watching people play, without actually looking deeply into it myself and finding all these little areas where I can just stare at and look. Instead, I just have to look at the fleeting areas on the game where people are looking around. It looks actually really amazing. And yeah, there are areas where it's pretty bad, but overall, they did a good job on the graphics. And I hope people stop complaining and actually realize that it's a balancing act, and the lighting is pretty awesome. Of course, I have heard there are bugs, so yes, still bitch at them for all the bugs that shouldn't be around, but I can't really talk about any bugs or anything because I don't have the game yet. I've had to judge it off of live streams, basically. So anyways, that is the end of this part. This is a long video. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know with a comment, like, subscribe, and or a share. If you guys didn't like the video, also let me know with a comment. And what do you think about Fallout 4? Just the graphics of it. Do you think the graphics are good? Do you agree with me on the graphics? And how about the gameplay? The gameplay, to me, it looks pretty much the same as Fallout 3. Just everything, it kind of just looks almost like a perfected version of Fallout 3. I hope I didn't say Fallout 3 earlier when I meant Fallout 4. I keep doing that because whatever. Anyway, so I don't know. Just let me know because I can't wait to play that game. But God damn it. As far as I'm concerned, Fallout 4 has not been released. At least not yet, because I still have to wait about a year before I can actually get the game. So many games I want to fucking get. I can't get them yet, god damn it. It sucks. Holy shit. So anyways, yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys then. Bye.